Oh, hello there. Yes, it's stunningly midweek. We'll see what the day brings. Anyway, overnight was the totally expected, but presumably for the British media disappointing news that Israel has decided to have a ceasefire in Gaza. I guess this means now that this morning the press will be full of newspapers condemning Netanyahu for allowing Hamas to regroup in their nefarious ends, and I presume the Labour Party, in terms of Keir Starmer, will now be cutting all ties with things like Friends of Israel. Maybe not, eh? Yes, odd that you get to speak to terrorists when you particularly want to and when there's political pressure to do so. It's quite easy to kill vast numbers of people when it's politically expedient, and then if the people at home start shouting about it enough, then things happen. There might be a message there for the UK government. Not, obviously. Anyway, just moving on briefly from that. Yesterday, Joanna Cherry KC stood up in the House of Lords and was using her platform to further sex matters petition against violence against non-trans individuals, I suppose probably would be the best way of describing it. But I was thinking to myself, well, it's got 15,000 people that signed this letter to the Prime Minister. And I thought we'd crunch the numbers on that, because 15,000 people is 1 in 3,000 adults in the UK. It works out at about, at about 160 odd people per county of the UK, depending on which particular unitary authority you might be going for. So in any given town of a smallish size, let's say, you'd end up with 2 transphobes. 2. How is this ever any form of silent or overwhelming majority? I thought I'd, check in on the biological reality petition as well, which had blanket coverage on the usual channels. James Essie's got a lot of media appearances out of that. He still needs your help, by the way. Please do give generously. And it's still not at 23,000 people weeks later. So where exactly are this huge silent majority if they can't even be bothered about something to simply spend, I don't know what, minute and a half signing a petition? And the answer is, of course, there's no such thing. The British public aren't like that. The British public are not bloodthirsty monsters in a number of different ways. But, as ever, the British public are always disappointing to their leaders. They should be sacked, and we should get some different ones, shouldn't we? Anyway, do have a lovely Wednesday. Stay warm, stay dry.